do. But static electricity is the kind of electricity that comes from the lightning. Okay? That's the difference. And I'm here to tell you a little story about electricity. It started in 1752. Ben Franklin. Who knows Ben Franklin? Raise their hand.
Woo!
All right, excellent. He was going to fly a kite into the clouds. And he was thinking that there was electricity in those clouds. And he was going to get it to come through the kite all the way down into this little jar here, which I'll tell you about in a minute. But it was in Philadelphia on a June day, and he's 46 years old. And he took his son with him. His name was William. And they had this silk line, a silk string that went all the way down to this key. And the key had a wire attached to it. And the wire went down to this jar here called a Leyden jar. Now that's a very special jar right there because it collects energy. That's right. That was the very first energy collector right there. So he flew a kite in this storm. And on the silk string came some charge, negative charge. Okay, this is coming through the clouds. And it started to accumulate on the string, on the silk string, and the string was wet. And it caught all this energy, all this electricity from the cloud, this big storm cloud, came and took over that kite right there, just like that one. And then the electricity came down, and all of a sudden, came down the key and right into that jar. Now there's a problem here. He didn't want to get electricity in him, or he could have been very badly hurt. So he made a ribbon from that key over to the barn. He went over to the barn, see? And he's hiding in here so that the little bit of the silk ribbon would stay dry so it wouldn't go all the way and connect to him. Came by, the electricity started to accumulate, and it all came down one time, whoosh. And you know what his son William said? Cool. So, when Ben Franklin had this idea, he thought to himself, you know what, I've just proven that static electricity comes from them clouds. And that was a very important thing for mankind to know that. So he came up with this other idea. He said, well, if lightning comes down, because in those days they didn't have ways of keeping lightning bolts off their homes. So what did he do? He came up with this idea. He thought because it conducted electricity just like that silk string, he'd create this pole in the ground. And the pole would go down, and if the lightning came down to his house, he had this lightning rod, see? So he had a wire go down right to this pole. And that would take the electricity from the lightning going all the way through. If it hit his house, it would redirect it into the ground. And that actually happened to him. It actually happened. The lightning hit his house and hit this pole, went all the way through the house, through this wire, and went right into the ground, and he saved his house from catching on fire. Is that amazing?
Yes.
It's amazing. So, we got Benjamin Franklin to thank for that. Benjamin Franklin, he was a statesman, he was an inventor. Oh, he was also on the $100 bill. I think I brought one with me. All right, here it is. The $100 bill, Benjamin Franklin. If y'all don't know what he looks like, that's him. Right there. See that guy? Pretty amazing, isn't it? So valuable a person he was in American history, put him on the $100 bill. Now, what else am I going to tell you about is lightning. See, lightning is very interesting because it holds electricity, and what happens is negative ions, okay, moisture with water and snow start to come down, and heat starts to what? Rise from the ground up. And it starts to separate these things. So what happens is there's friction inside the cloud, and that generates energy. And through the ground, there are these pathways, right? Ions from the earth. And there's these different sections, right? So what happens is that electricity gets stronger and stronger, and it has to release from the cloud. So it finds a place on the ground, and it doesn't go the shortest way, it just goes to the way that's the easiest. So it finds these little sections, right? A pathway, so that it can take this electricity and go all the way down to the earth. So that electricity right there is released in one big boom. 20,000 degrees boom. So what I'm going to also tell you is if anybody wants to be a volunteer, I'm going to find electricity inside them. Who wants to be a volunteer?
I want to be the volunteer.
Oh, can I take the kid?
Take a kid.
We got a child over here who wants to be tested for electricity. All right. So you got to hold on to this. This is called the negative, and this is called the positive. Now I'm going to put this right on here, and we're going to put the microphone right up to this here, and we're going to make a sound. Okay? So let's hear the sound, and when we hear the sound, that means she's got electricity there. All right?
Hey, ladies.
When she screams, we know. Did you hear that? Wait, I better turn on the microphone. Did that hurt?
No.
Good. There's one other thing I can show you all here. It's a potato. Now, a potato, we can detect electricity from a potato. Would you like to help me? Okay. What I want you to do, come over here. I want you to hold that one right there. Hold that one right on top of the copper part. That done, right? All right, very good. You hold it right there. So there you have it. Proof that electricity comes from a potato. Amazing.
Amazing.
Now, we got one other little demonstration here before the music starts to play. And I'd like to show that everybody here is probably interested in solar. Thank you very much. You can sit down now and thank you. What's your name? Gianna. Thank you, Gianna. Very good. Let's give her a little round of applause here. Thank you, Gianna. Excellent, excellent. She just had herself a little experience with electricity, inside and out. Now, when I got hooked up here, this is basically, we got an inverter, so we can take the energy that comes from the sun, and then it comes down through this inverter and down into the battery, and through that, we got what? We got energy. So all you out there know about this one. You can't really see if you're way back there, but I guess I'm going to have to get some witnesses up here to make sure that they see something. Does anybody see that?
I see a light.
All right, that came from the sunshine. So let's give a round of applause for the sunshine. And thank y'all for listening. I have some more stories to tell you, so if anybody wants to hear about it, I'm going to be moving over here so the music can play. It's about how energy was originally stored back in the 1700s. You could store it in here by catching the electricity from the key, directing it from the lightning going down the silk down to the Leyden jar through the key and the wire. Now, there was also a Dutch man who was doing it about the same time. Okay. And but he was the marketing guy.
I like to be relaxed.
And so they named it after him
Have a little
from the
song
city
about
that
it.
he was in. When you generate energy that goes into something. Thank you, bye. To something like when you know when you rub your feet on a carpet and you get the static.